So here we are, end of week 1. Not quite. It's actually day 6, but tomorrow's day 7, and day 7 is cheat day, and I don't want to be filming on cheat day, because anything that's going to take time away from me being a beached whale tomorrow is not okay. P.S. Go Raptors. Welcome to Get It Together, and if you're new here, this channel is just me trying to figure out how to get my life together and sharing the tips and lessons I learn along the way. And as you may have gathered from the intro, I'm nearing the end of week 1 of the Slow Carb Diet, and it's time for an update video. As I was planning for this video, I think I've come up with a pretty good format, and it's essentially to break these update videos into 3 sections. The first one is the good, the positive experiences that I've had and revelations. The second is any challenges that I faced and remedies that I may have come up with. And the third portion is what I need to keep focused on and keep top of mind for this next week coming up. Now, before all of this, my plan was to hold off on sharing any of the actual numbers from the Smart Scale until the last update video, kind of like a grand reveal. But I think that just for this week 1 update video, it's worth sharing because it's good, but it's also something that I got to keep top of mind. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to toss up basically the results, right? So you could see on day 1, I started at 213.8 pounds, and today is day 6, and on day 6's weigh-in, I've essentially lost 7 pounds. Now, of course, visually at the numbers, I'm ecstatic at it. 7 pounds in 6 days? That's pretty crazy. If I extrapolate that over a month, carry the 1, that's like losing 35 pounds or being tracked to lose 35 pounds a month. But that's obviously not going to happen. So again, even though I'm happy to see that kind of dramatic result in less than a week, I just got to be very cognizant of the fact that I probably started because of the disgusting eating habits leading up to day 1 with a ton of water weight, which I shed off in the first 2 days. And it looks like as the weeks progressed, it's tapered down to averaging about half a pound a day, which is still fantastic. If I do half a pound a day, that's still 15 pounds extrapolated over the course of a month. I guess what I'm saying is I'm only sharing week 1's numbers with you guys because I still want that grand finale reveal at the end of the month. But basically, it's to say that I don't have enough data points yet. 6 days. By the way, do you guys say data or data? Anyways, 6 days is just not enough. I'm going to need 30 days to have enough data points to actually see the realistic trend, at least for me. Speaking of water weight, on page 84 of the 4-Hour Body in the Slow Carb Diet section, Tim Ferriss talks about the fact that on cheat day, which is for me tomorrow, it's not uncommon to shoot up 10 pounds, but to not be discouraged by that. That is truly majority water weight, and within 48 hours, you'll taper back down. This is all to say, by the way, that I'm still chalking this up to the positive experiences column. I mean, to visually see a 7-pound difference is awesome, but it's also to kind of check myself and just to make sure that I remain realistic and not expect to lose 7 pounds every week. Another positive experience is that I'm not even remotely sick of eating the same meals every day. I kind of hyped myself up talking in the first video of this series about how, everyone more or less eats the same meals, but in the back of my mind, I was a little bit worried, and I'm happy to say that at least in this first week, I'm not at all tired of it. I'm also starting to see why the slow carb diet can be so effective. It's manifested itself in the fact that I'm frequently forgetting to eat my lunch. I mean, I'm eating a huge breakfast, right? 4 eggs, spinach, black beans, and that is for sure 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up. But it's crazy how filling that is, and I don't even think about food, oftentimes until I'm near the late afternoon. I'm not saying that's right. I should probably start reminding myself to eat lunch a little bit earlier, but for me, this is a positive because it's just demonstrating for me and showing proof early on that the slow carb diet is something that can be very effective in just curbing general hunger throughout the day. Also, this might just be for me or a smaller percentage of people, but I'm assuming that another reason why I'm so full is because prior to trying the slow carb diet, basically 7 days ago and earlier, I'm just not used to having breakfast, period. And so kind of forcing that in first thing in the morning is already such a big change for me. In other words, once this breakfast thing becomes habit, I'm curious to see if I naturally get hungrier earlier in the day. Speaking of feeling full, another thing I was a little bit worried about is prior to the slow carb diet, and I'm probably still in the natural habit of just really liking to snack frequently. And it's written in the book, but it really is true. If you eat enough at your meals, there should be no desire to snack. And so far, at least in week 1, there's been no desire whatsoever to have a little snack here and there. The last 2 positives all have to do with cooking and ingredients. One thing that I was a bit concerned about for myself is just having that much spinach, half a box of spinach every single day. that's out the window. I mean, cooking it just shrinks like crazy. I can literally have half a box of spinach in 2 big spoonfuls, and splitting them into 3 meals, nothing. And the last great thing, if you guys saw in the last video, which was essentially the cooking show, is the speed. Man, to be able to make all 3 of my meals every day in 15 minutes is awesome. The time savings and just the knowledge that I'm eating way healthier than I was prior to this week just feels really good. So those are all the good things, the positive revelations and experiences that I had. And so I think it's a good time to move on to the second part of this video, which is the challenges that I faced and any remedies that I've come up with. And I'm just gonna come out and say it. All of the challenges that I faced this week all have to do with drinking. In the slow carb diet portion of the 4-Hour Body, under a section titled Common Mistakes, one of the common mistakes that Tim Ferriss writes about is the fact that people don't drink enough water. And this definitely stays true for me. It's just the remembering to do it that I am struggling with. And so what I've done starting on day 3 is I've tied glasses of water to events that naturally happen every single day, and I'm trying to forge those into habits. It's recommended to drink 8 8-ounce glasses or 8 250 milliliter glasses of water every single day. So what I've done to try and ensure that I'm having at least 8 glasses a day is to have a glass of water the moment I wake up, basically chug it right down, and I prepare that the night before on my bedside table. And then before each of my 3 meals, I chug a glass of water and immediately prepare another glass of water to drink throughout the meal. Finally, as I'm getting ready for bed, I drink another glass of water and refill it immediately so that it's ready for me in the morning when I wake up. Like I said, it's definitely not a habit yet. After all, I really only started it a few days ago, but it's become a lot easier already, tying it to actions that I take every single day naturally anyways. Another positive that I found about that is that, as you may have imagined, especially with breakfast, if I'm chugging a glass right before breakfast and drinking a glass throughout breakfast, that just fills me up a lot more. And the same thing goes for lunch and dinner. And so by ensuring I drink enough water, I'm also making myself feel extremely satisfied and full after every single meal. It's at the point for me right now where the last bite of every meal is like almost forced. Not in a bad way, like I'm about to throw up, but just more so in a like, I really don't need this bite of food type of way. The second biggest challenge, like I said, both challenges all have to do with drinking, is just something that I already recognized in the very first video before trying the slow carb diet, where I just know that I'm somebody who drinks so many sweet drinks every single day. And so sticking with only water and a black coffee with a bit of cinnamon is just super tough for me. It was already a big enough challenge by day 2, and so I really spent quite a bit of time on day 2 and day 3 really trying to figure things out. I already started filming some of these remedies for this video, but then it ended up just dragging on a little bit and going off of a tangent of an update video. Not to mention, I think I'm not the only person who will face these challenges, so I think that it definitely deserves its own video, which is going to be the next one I upload. So that just about wraps up the challenges that I faced this week, and on to the things that I got to keep top of mind and make sure I'm focused on for this second week coming up. The first thing I got to keep top of mind is tied directly to the challenges that I just talked about. And so for me, it's about ensuring that I continue building the habit of drinking at least 8 glasses of water a day. And for now, I'm going to stick with tying them to the events, right? Waking up, getting ready for bed, and before and during each meal. The second thing is to ensure all the drink remedies I've come up with, which again, I'm going to be talking about in the next video, which are all 100% slow carb compliant, to make sure that they are still indeed satiating my natural desire for wanting sugary sweet drinks. So the third thing I got to keep top of mind, which I think is actually the most important thing, not just for this second week coming up, but onwards throughout the rest of the challenge and beyond, is really keeping the results that I experienced this week in check. It really felt good to see a 7-pound drop in 6 days, but let's face it, that is most certainly not realistically sustainable at all. Beyond that, I have to be really aware that it could be a combination of beginner's luck and newbie motivation. All of the positives that I talked about at the beginning of this video, those are great, right? The fact that after these meals, I don't have any desire to snack. After breakfast, I feel so full for way past lunchtime. These things are great, but I just have to be really aware that it's possible that after a few weeks or even a few days, that kind of motivation that kind of psychologically triggers all of these things might slowly start to dissipate. And I just got to be really aware of that and be able to keep myself in check and disciplined to maintain this diet. If you're thinking about trying the slow carb diet but haven't started yet, I welcome you to check out the playlist linked at the very end of this video. It starts from the very beginning, things that I had to consider before I even started the slow carb diet, all the way up till now. Also, with more than 3 weeks left in this initial month-long challenge for myself, just a reminder that I created a new Instagram account at GitVlog where I have to post my breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day, and I've put up $100 with the risk of losing if I fail to post my meals. If you got value out of this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I can't wait to post the next video. Again, it's drinks that are compliant to the slow carb diet. None of them have sugar, none of them have even artificial sweeteners, and they've been great remedies for me in the past few days as somebody who's so used to having multiple sugary drinks every single day.